Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're opening up some source material that makes a pretty significant claim about something incredibly common. Cucumber water. Agua con pepino.
Yeah, and it's presented not just as like a refreshing drink, but as a systemic intervention for the body. Quite a statement.
Exactly. And our mission, really, in this deep dive is to help you understand this crucial difference the sources talk about. The difference between just, body hydration, basically drinking fluid, and actual cellular hydration.
hmm And why maybe getting that wrong could even be, well, undermining our nutrition, according to this material.
It's immediately counterintuitive, isn't it? The
Yeah.
sources suggest that just drinking loads of filtered water every day, which we're often told to do,
Right, the standard advice.
might actually be counterproductive. But then you add cucumber, and suddenly we're talking about better joints, sharper thinking, a stronger immune system.
It's a huge range of benefits, and all from, a vegetable you can get anywhere. It really shifts the focus from just the amount of water to what's in the water.
Okay, so let's start with that core challenge. This systematic error the material identifies, this idea that just drinking more and more water automatically means better hydration.
Yeah, and the kicker is they argue it can sometimes lead to denourishment, which sounds completely backward.
Denourishment, how?
Well, it comes down to physiology, really. Homeostasis. When you drink large amounts of water that's been, say, heavily filtered or distilled.
The kind often promoted as pure.
Exactly. It's often mineral poor. Filtering takes out the bad stuff, metals, maybe microplastics, chemicals, but it often takes out the good stuff too, minerals.
So in cleaning the water, we strip it of things the body actually needs to, use the water properly?
That's precisely the argument here. The human body isn't really set up physiologically to handle pure H2O without any nutrient partners, so to speak. When you flood your system with mineral-free water, the body goes, whoa, imbalance, and tries to correct it,
How does it correct?
often by getting rid of the excess volume quickly, which usually means more trips to the bathroom.
Okay, right. Frequent urination. And is that where the nutrient loss happens? You're flushing out more than just the water.
That's the crux of their claim. That rapid movement of mineral-poor water through your system basically pulls out essential minerals and electrolytes that your body was trying to hold on to. It washes them out, leading to that state of, well, denourishment at a cellular level.
And the source specifically mentions sodium, doesn't it? Which is interesting because there's such a focus on reducing sodium.
They're very clear on that. The material insists sodium shouldn't be filtered out of drinking water. They see it as a necessary mineral we should get from water. That our sort of cultural obsession with eliminating it actually contributes to this cycle of poor hydration and nutrient loss.
Especially if you're also drinking huge volumes of that filtered water.
Exactly. The two things combined.
Okay, so if mineral poor water is the problem, how on earth does adding a few slices of cucumber fix such a fundamental issue? It seems almost too simple.
Well, the source material really elevates the cucumber. It calls it a purely, directly human food. It's essential for us. It's positioned as the vehicle delivering not just better quality hydration, but also these really critical compounds.
And the claimed effects are so broad: brain health, joints.
Yeah. For neurocognitive health, they say it improves communication between neurons. But they spend a lot of time on joints articular health, addressing pain, disorders, even looking at inflammation linked to things like rheumatism, arthritis, arthrosis, autoimmune stuff.
Okay, there must be a specific component they're highlighting. You mentioned something called psilocybin?
Silice, yes, or silicon dioxide. That's presented as the key ingredient here. It's the bioactive or activated form of silicon. And the material states that this compound, found in cucumber water, directly helps regulate and even regenerate the protective cartilage around our joints.
Regenerate cartilage from the cucumber water. That's a massive claim.
It is huge. It ties back to the idea that a lot of joint pain is fundamentally inflammatory and linked to hydration status.
Yeah.
So by delivering hydration with this key element, silice, you're supposedly tackling the inflammation and giving the body what it needs to rebuild that protective tissue.
And the accessibility is key here, isn't it? We're not talking about some expensive supplement.
No, exactly. It's something you could just make at home in a minute, which is powerful.
That ease of preparation is definitely a factor, and it seems particularly important when we look at how it's supposed to impact the gut, what the source calls the body's control center. Let's talk about how to take it. They recommend it before a meal.
Yes, the method is quite specific. 4 or 5 slices of cucumber in a glass of water, and you drink it about 15 minutes before you eat.
Why before? What's happening in those 15 minutes?
It's all about digestion. The cucumber provides both soluble and insoluble fiber. That soluble fiber gets to work right away, helping hydrate the digestive mucosa, the lining of your gut. And maybe more importantly, it feeds the bacteria that produce mucus.
Mucus-producing bacteria. Why are they important?
They're vital. They create that protective coating inside the intestine, which makes digestion healthier, smoother.
The source really does hammer home the importance of the intestine, calling it the epicenter of all our health. That's strong language.
It is. They basically view the gut not just as an organ, but as a barometer for your entire system. The state of your gut, they argue, directly reflects your immune system, your brain function, your skin health, even your lungs.
So optimizing the gut environment with something simple like cucumber water becomes a route to overall health.
That's the core idea. Systemic health starts in the gut.
I have to say, one of the most arresting pieces of advice in this material, maybe a bit countercultural, is their insistence that we need to pay as much attention to, well, the results after digestion as we do to the food before. Looking
Right.
in the toilet bowl.
Yeah, they call the quality of your fecal matter the testimony of our digestion. It's blunt.
Very
It's basically saying stop ignoring the most direct feedback your body gives you. And that soluble fiber from the cucumber, it contributes directly to achieving what they call the healthy form, texture, consistency, and health of your feces. That's the physical proof digestion is working well.
Okay. Beyond digestion, you mentioned an incredible improvement to immune function. How does cucumber water manage that?
It acts as a major antioxidant. That's mainly down to its flavonoids. And the source uses a really neat comparison here. Think about how we use cucumber slices externally.
Right. For puffy eyes, dark circles.
Or insect bites, dermatitis, skin irritation. It's a common home remedy because it visibly reduces inflammation and has an analgesic, a pain-relieving effect on the skin.
So the argument is if it works that well on your skin against inflammation and oxidative stress.
Exactly. Imagine the effect it's having inside your body, systemically. It fights that internal oxidative stress just as effectively, which leads to a better immune response.
That paints a very clear picture. Okay, that gives us a good grasp of the benefits. Let's pivot to actually using it. What if you, the listener, try this and find it? Well, doesn't agree with you. Maybe you have digestive sensitivities already.
That's a really important point. If drinking cucumber water causes discomfort, like acidity, reflux, maybe that repeating cucumber flavor or burping, the source says this isn't actually the cucumber's fault.
Oh, what is it then?
It suggests that reaction is actually a symptom. It indicates there's some underlying dysfunction in what they call the gastroduodenal functional unit. Basically, potential issues with your stomach, pancreas, or liver function.
So the cucumber water itself acts almost like a diagnostic tool.
In a way, yes. It reveals an existing sensitivity or inefficiency in your digestion.
But you can adapt it. You don't just have to stop.
Right. You can modify it to lessen the symptoms while maybe addressing the root cause. They suggest combining it with lemon juice. Or mint is mentioned as being particularly good for gastric issues. You could also try adding some aloe vera. Just make sure it's the kind prepared without a loin, the laxative component.
Okay.
Or even adding a tiny bit of olive oil, which they say can help improve pancreatic function.
Interesting adaptations.
Yeah.
Now, I was really intrigued by the synergy claims. The idea that cucumber water doesn't just work on its own, but actually boosts other things.
Yes, this is where that bioactive silicon, the psilocybin, really comes into play again. The material claims you can combine cucumber water with certain supplements to enhance their effect. Things like L-glutamine or NAC.
N-acetylcysteine.
That's the one, NAC. Or even omega-3 krill oil. And taking these with cucumber water is said to noticeably improve hepatic function, liver function.
That's quite a potentiation effect, boosting liver support supplements.
It is. And it links back again to bone and joint health, especially through vitamin D. See, cucumber itself is rich in vitamin K, which we know helps strengthen bones.
Right.
But the source claims cucumber water significantly potentiates the function of vitamin D, makes it work better.
How does it do that? What's the proposed mechanism for potentiating vitamin D?
The idea seems to be that the elements in the cucumber water, the psilocybin, the minerals they make the body's receptors, the mechanisms that receive and use vitamin D, more efficient. They give a really practical example. If you drink cucumber water while you're out in the sun.
When your body is making vitamin D naturally?
Exactly. The vitamin D your skin synthesizes is supposedly captured more effectively and directed specifically towards your bones and joints. And at the same time, those flavonoids we mentioned are helping reduce any joint inflammation or pain.
So it's like it helps target the vitamin D where it's needed most for structure while simultaneously calming the area down.
Precisely. It turns a simple bit of sun exposure into a more focused therapeutic activity for your joints and bones.
That's fascinating. Now, a practical question, vitamin K. For people on blood-thinning medication, anticoagulants, high vitamin K can be a concern. Did the source address safety?
Yes, they did include a specific safety note on that. They state that because of the high volume of water involved compared to the amount of cucumber, it's generally not contraindicated for people on anticoagulants. They basically clarify you'd have to eat kilos and kilos of raw cucumber every day to run into a coagulation issue. The amount in the water preparation is considered safe for most people.
Okay, that's reassuring. Wow, we've really covered a lot here. From potentially reversing mineral depletion, improving brain cell communication, regenerating cartilage, enhancing how our bodies use things like vitamin D.
It's quite the list.
The overall takeaway from the source material seems to be, quite simply, that the cucumber does everything well.
That's the phrase they use.
And they recommend trying it for 30 days. Just commit to it for a month and see what you notice.
And perhaps, if we take the source's own emphasis seriously, the best way to measure success goes back to the gut. Knowledge is great, but it's only valuable when you apply it. This material insists that the quality of our fecal matter is that direct testimony, a reflection of our immune health, our neurocognitive state. Yet it's a metric we're often conditioned to completely ignore, right? Flush and forget.
Hmm.
So here's a thought for you, the listener, based on that. Given this strong claim, how might consciously focusing on that single, simple output, the state of your digestion, as seen in the toilet, how might that change your daily habits? How might it become your personal measure for whether you're actually getting healthier? Could the key to tracking systemic health really be found in paying closer attention to what we usually just flush away?
That is definitely a provocative thought to mull over. If the path to better overall health could really be supported by something as simple, as accessible, and as affordable as a few slices of cucumber in water, well, that certainly seems like a discovery worth exploring for yourself. That was quite the deep dive.